Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's webinar. I'm Shafia Samrin, Marketing Manager at Rakmiyat, and I will be your host for this session. I'm delighted to have you all here. Before we begin, let's quickly go over a few housekeeping items. Firstly, please ensure that you have a stable internet connection throughout the webinar to avoid any disruptions. Secondly, if you have any questions during the session, please use the Q&A feature to submit them. We will address them during the Q&A segment at the end. In between sessions, please pay attention to the polls and share your opinion with us. Lastly, a recording of this webinar will be made available to all participants afterwards, so you can revisit the content or share it with others. Today's webinar is titled Intelligent Automation and AI in Banking, Transforming Processes for Efficiency and Customer Experience. In this session, you will witness the magic of intelligent automation and AI, the ultimate game changers that can revolutionize your BFSI operations. Without any further delay, let me invite Linus Gonsalves to deliver the welcome note. And yes, he does not need any introduction to our banking customers, but however, to the people who does not know him, he is the Assistant Vice President of Banking and Financial Services at Rakmiyat. Linus has 28 years of experience in the banking industry. He manages the BFS business and overall project delivery in Rakmiyat. He has successfully implemented all the payment applications for banks in the region. Over to you, Linus.
Thanks, Shafia. Thanks, Shafia, for introduction. Good morning to all and welcome all of you for this webinar. As most of you are already aware, about the Rakmiyat. Rakmiyat is a leading system integrator and IT solution services provider in the region. We are established in 1983 and we are part of Al Ghurair group of companies. As a system integrator, we services over here as a customers from banks, governments, and corporates. And we have a vertical focus on banks, government, education sector, telecom, utilities, healthcare, transport, and aviation. And to cater to this, we have a kind of a three different division within the Rakmiyat. Smart business solution, which cater to the kind of all the digital transformation or cyber security, enterprise business solutions for the customers. Then we have a specific focus on banking and finance. So there is a separate banking BFS division within Rakmiyat, which caters to payments application and financial peripherals, robotic process automation for the banks, analytics, and other solutions, especially for the banks. And the other division is the TSS, Technical Support Services, which is a technical staffing as well as project. We have partner with various kind of companies to for their solutions, and towards that we have partner with the Datamatics company. Datamatics is a kind of India-based company which provides consulting, information technology, data management, and business process management services. It is one of the old IT company in India. And through its kind of robotics and artificial intelligence related solution, it delivers, or rather try to deliver the benefits of digital technologies to improve productivity, customer experience, build sustainable competitive advantage for their global enterprises. So today, as a part of our relationship, our business relationship with the Datamatics, we have arranged this intelligent automation and AI in banking webinar to showcase their solution, what they are having. And for that purpose, we have a Blessy Varghese from Datamatics, who will take us through this webinar. So again, without further ado, I will hand over this mic to the next speaker. Thanks. Thanks all of you for joining this webinar.
Thank you, Linus. Now let me introduce our speaker for today. She heads the Global Partnerships and Alliances for Intelligent Automation and AI Solutions of Datamatics. She has worked with leading players for over 20 years. She has a wealth of experience in positioning automation technologies such as RPA, IDP, and AI, ML to address specific pain points for BFSI. I would like to welcome Blessy Varghese to the virtual stage. Blessy, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Shafia. Thanks, Linus, and thank you to the Rakmia team for giving us this opportunity. Without much delay, I would like to head on directly to our presentation. What today I would be talking about is how we can transform the banking using intelligent automation and AI, how we can transform many of the banking processes, very much focused on that. And as a brief agenda, what we will do is just a very quick overview of who we are, although Linus has already touched upon it. Intelligent automation, the role of intelligent document processing and intelligent automation. And I think most of you would be very interested to know what is the success we have done with regard to intelligent automation at banks. Then we would also run a small video demo to basically show you how we have actually in practical applications done automations. And at the end, we have a Q&A session where we can definitely take up each and every question that you have. So let me start off. I will just to ensure there's a good bandwidth, I'm just going to switch off the video, but please do raise your questions on the chat, and we would love to actually have you ask a lot of questions around this. Okay, so going on, Datamatics is an organization. There are three main pillars. From a bird's eye point of view, we have the digital technologies, which is covering, apart from cloud and DevOps and big data, we cover and have our own innovation lab for AI, cognitive services, intelligent automation. And the bottom line that you see here is our own product line. So we do not have any third-party integrations, but these are our own products. In this session, we will not talk much about the products, but it is more about how we address the pain points of many of the processes that are there in the BFSI space. Digital operations is more around automating, on providing services in the space of finance and accounting, banking process management, and digital experience is more on providing seamless customer experience to all the touch points where a customer would engage with you as a customer, you as a bank, right? So we have a very large organization. We are a 45-year-old, actually global organization with majority of our customers in US, India, and and a good percentage of banks in Middle East. We are a 10,000 plus employee organization. And now I would like to go on to specifically our topic today, that is on intelligent automation. I'm not expecting you to read all of this, obviously. I guess many in this room already know what is intelligent automation, but I just according to ChatGPT, this is what is intelligent automation. And that is a combination of not just RPA, it is also a combination of cognitive automation, AI, and many decision support systems. So one may think that, I have implemented RPA and, and I have implemented, an OCR system and I have a process automated, but it is really a combination of all of these technologies that come together that automate various processes. So from our intelligent automation platform, which is our Datamatics own products, we have TrueBot, which is our RPA tool. We have TrueCap Plus, which is our IDP tool, and TrueBI, which is our BI tool. The essence of this slide is only to just explain to you that all our platform is built on an AI engine. So there is a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning capabilities in this platform, and I will show you in the coming slides how we are addressing that. So I'm not sure how many in this room have heard about OCR or intelligent document processing, but I'm going to take it directly from an analyst who has given a very detailed view of what is intelligent document processing. Intelligent document processing is not OCR. OCR is only one part of that entire framework, right? So first, when you get images coming from different channels, what an IDP tool. So I'll just call it IDP so that it's easier to tell instead of explaining the whole name. What an IDP tool does is it does a lot of image processing, cleanup of a document, and I will be showing you some examples of that. We can clean up images we can clean up the images for better data extraction, because data capture can only be done if the images are clean, right? And once the images are clean, then the system has to do classification. Now, normally, if there are some in this audience who probably have used in the past, barcodes and patch codes to separate document types, now there's no need to do that. The system automatically understands a document, whether it's an application form, whether it's an Emirates ID, whether it's a driver's license, whether it is a salary certificate. The system has the knowledge or the AI capability to understand different document types, and it classifies the document. Based on the business rule of a document, it will extract the data. So we know that from an Emirates ID, you normally need the Emirates ID number, you need the date of expiry, the name, all of that. But from an application form, you have probably 10 to 15 fields that you need to extract. So the system knows that, and TrueCap can extract that data. What happens after that? Once the data is extracted, we have a process of data validation. So is this applicant going to, are they a resident of the United Arab Emirates? Are they a visitor? So all of those things, you can do a lot of checks from our platform. And then finally, all of these processes are completely automated, depending on your business rules. Anything that needs to be valid, anything that is outside the business threshold is brought to a human for correction. Apart from that, what we intend to do for most of our banking customers is we do a straight through process of this entire flow. Okay, so we leverage over here not only one tool or two tools, we probably leverage 3-4 tools to do that. So we are not going to talk on what the tool is doing, but we are going to talk about how we address these pain points. So just to show you some examples, I'm sure you have all come across checks, which is obviously something that we come across on a daily basis. And we can read data. So this is called as a human in the loop screen, where we extract data. We can even read handwritten documents. We can read the data, we can capture the signature, and we can populate it on the left-hand side. And the green basically indicates that we have read it, the system has understood and read it correctly. There are a few examples just to show that, irrespective of how poor the quality is of documents, we can extract the data because we do a lot of pre-processing of the data, and we clean up the data, we read that data. And once data is available, I'm sure you understand that once data is available, you can use it in multiple ways for various insights, for pushing the data into your core banking, for validating information. So we do a lot of that. These are 2 examples of checks. This is just another example of a account opening form. Basically, it has been scanned and sent by email, or it has been captured by a mobile device. And it will directly be ingested by our system, and all the fields are populated on the left-hand side. So just to highlight here a few more points, that all these fields that you see on the left-hand side are configurable. This is just to show you what is the possibility. We can have 5 fields, we can have 50 fields, we can have 100 fields. It all depends on what you want to extract. And on every field level, we can put a certain business rule. For example, the father's name should have some relation to the name, or the PAN card number or the Emirates ID number should not have an alphabet. So we can put a lot of business rules so that there is very, very minimal manual intervention. That is the whole objective of having a system that can go straight through process. Otherwise, if you have to stop at every document, then might as well do it manually. So this is a very crucial part in the complete digital transformation journey itself. That how much of manual and repetitive work are we doing to evaluate that process? So as I said, so Datamatics being a 45-year-old company, we have a wealth of experience in processing data, right? So we are a data management company. We have processed all possible kinds of documents. And as you can see, we have around 6.5 million banking documents processed manually. When I say banking, it can be literally any document that comes into the bank, KYC documents. So what happens is we have our system has a good, strong domain knowledge of the document type. And that is very crucial than just having a tool to extract data. So this is one important aspect. Secondly, what are the possible use cases, right? So there is another slide which I'll talk about use cases, but so far we have captured many processes in retail assets, retail liability, trade finance, corporate banking, wholesale banking, treasury management, and all other financial services. So again, I have put up this slide to show you that we are not restricted to banking, but we have a much more bigger breadth on where we can capitalize, capitalize the different other segments in the industry. But BFSI is one of our strongest domains. So how do we do this? Of course, we can talk about all of this now, but how do we get to the reality, right? So we offer something called analytics, experience, insights, and satisfaction. What happens is, as I was mentioning before, we have a very rich domain expertise. We do remittances, we do KYC process, we do trade finance automation, and I will be talking a bit more on what we have done for some of our customers in the coming slides. But the core message is that we have a lot of domain experience, and we have the technology, right? And the technology has the capability to literally look at any data and understand, comprehend the data based on the AI algorithms that are built in the system. So whether it is a customer service complaint, or whether it is not a customer service, but whether it's an email complaint, who it should go to, or whether it is a remittance transfer, whatever manual process you're following today, because of our domain experience, we can give you the best practices involved, and we can offer a kind of a 3-dimensional approach, the domain, digital, and then data analytics on how this can be, you can get better ROI and increase your efficiency. So it's not really, Datamatics bragging about who we are. We have got very, very good, we have got very good ratings from top industry analysts in the RPA and intelligent automation space. We have detailed reports on each of them, which can be shared upon request. But if you obviously go up on the net, you can see that we have been rated quite well. And up to last week also, we have been getting very good responses from the top analysts on various, not only on product wise, but on services front also in the banking and the finance and automation space. So before I go on to the case studies, which is in fact going to talk more about what we have done for certain banks, we would like to just introduce a poll just to see if you're all listening in and to get some feedback. Muskan, may you want to?
So audience must be seeing this poll question on their screen. It is popped up. Have you used IDP for extracting data from unstructured documents? So you can just choose yes, no, whatever is suitable. And once we've answered this, we'll move on to the next poll question. We'll give 10 more seconds for this question and then we'll go for the next one. So audiences, this is the poll question which is popped up on the screen. Have you used IDP for extracting data from unstructured documents? Okay, let's move on to the next one. But before that, we'll see the result for the first poll question. So Blessy, we have the answer here. 7 out of 18 are saying that they have not used IDP.
Okay.
Yes is 7 and no is 11. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to the next poll question. What is the field level accuracy you have achieved using intelligent document processing? More than 60%, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, greater than 80%. I'll just repeat it. It is already on your screens. What is the field level accuracy you have achieved using IDP, which is intelligent document processing? And there are 4 options as mentioned below. So you can choose whichever is most relevant for you. We'll give 10 seconds for this and then we'll look at the poll report or the analysis.
While we wait, Pooja, there is Mahesh Mohan who has raised
yes, we are going to unmute. Yes, after the
okay, yeah, sure.
Let's look at the report or the result.
Okay, that's a good feedback. So it's good that everyone has used IDP to a certain level. That's great.
To a certain level, yes, absolutely.
So that this is very good information because now we may definitely have discussions to see how we can spike up the your extraction capabilities, right? So this is something that I think we should definitely discuss and see, because we have a very good experience in having high levels of accuracy, and that is something that we can pride ourselves in saying, simply because Datamatics as an organization, as I said, we have got a wealth of knowledge on various document types. The product, as I would say, is relatively new, maybe 7 to 8 years, but as a technology, this has been sold to many banks across US, India. Top 50 banks are using our solution, and it is a very strong and robust solution. Okay, great. So shall we take the question now?
Yes, he's unmuted. Please go ahead and ask your question. Mahesh Mohan.
Yes, hi Blessy. Hello everyone.
Yes, hello Mahesh.
Yes, so see, I work on the automation side, and we also use RPA, and we have one more vSIM on platform. But you mentioned something because we are getting into you mentioned about OCR, but
Yes.
from our side, we have not worked much on the automations related to documentation. And the first one of the keyword you used is unstructured documents.
Yes.
We have worked on automation that is related to more like templates and structured documents. So can you just brief about what do you mean by unstructured and what level of unstructured?
Sure. So unstructured is basically, okay, let me start with structured. So structured is basically an image that is like a form, or it has got certain fields, as you said, like a template, right? So it is not something, it is challenging, but it is not very challenging to read that kind of data, because it has a structure. You can define a template and you can, and an IDP tool can read it. But an unstructured document could be a letter. It could be, somebody writing a piece of information which has no structure, and it can be multiple. It can be a report. It can be a correspondence. It can be anything which does not have any form or any layout or template. It is just a bunch of data or bunch of documents. So like for example, a salary certificate, right? Now, salary certificate is different for different companies. It is considered as an unstructured document, but there are certain terminology in an unstructured document where, as a human, you would read it and understand, okay, this is a salary certificate. So our system also has an AI capability to understand, okay, somewhere it is mentioned about salary and then certificate, and this is the amount. And so it correlates all that based on the AI algorithms, and we read that data, and we can then classify the document as one of the documents required in your KYC process, as an example. Did that answer your question?
Yes, definitely. But of course, I would like to see some case studies, and maybe you have something related. All right, thank you.
Sure. Most welcome. Shall I continue then, and then we can open up the Q&A later? Shafia, Pooja?
Yes.
Yes.
In case anyone has any questions, you may feel free to raise your hand and we will unmute you. And we also have an option of our chat box, which is Q&A, wherein you can type your question and post it. So whichever works, please do the need. Over to you, Blessy.
Okay, thanks. So in terms of case studies, it's almost going to be like a rapid fire, because we have done a lot of case studies with banks, but I will touch upon them very quickly. So we had, during the COVID, I'm sure we all have gone through the pains of that time when we had to process data, right? So customers usually avail service by posting requests for EMI. And this bank in India, they had about 7,000 daily requests to avail the EMI, to get their EMI processed. So what happened is when and obviously the bank employees were not coming to the office. So this had to be done as a remote function. So what we have deployed is we have deployed our RPA bot to read the customer's request and enter the credit card number to validate the requests, to validate these requests. So all the checks had to be done in the internal core banking systems and various other internal systems before an EMI could be processed. So this was a huge success that we had done for one of the top banks in India. And so this is one case study. I mean, you can, if you have questions specific on this, we can go into details, but for the sake of time, I'm just going quickly on each of these case studies. Secondly, we did customer service automation, again using our RPA tool and our AI algorithms. So this bank used to receive at least 10,000 emails every 2 weeks, and they had to manually sort and analyze data from their existing systems. So what we did is we had implemented our RPA bot with AI to automatically sort and analyze the data. So what is the content of the data? Is it a complaint? Is it a request for a new checkbook? So all of that could be understood by our AI bot. And this helped to save about 450 to 500 man hours by doing this auto analysis and auto routing of these service requests. So we were able to allocate the customer service to actually do customer service than having to read through many emails, because it would be channelized to the relevant team member. Coming to the next process. So obviously, when we are talking about process automation, we are looking at every single line of processes in the bank. This is the credit limit extension process, which I'm sure many of you already know that this also has to be validated before a bank can approve it. So this bank used to receive around 100 such requests daily. So we again defined our technology to read the email, validate it against a predefined approval matrix. And then we, based on the approval request, which were based on the approval request, the bot would then analyze it and update the credit limit extension in the core banking systems. Right. So this also helped to speed up the process when it is a straight through logic that was defined. Only exceptions had to be brought to a manual, brought to a bank employee to validate it. The rest, all of them were straight through process. Coming to international remittance processing. So I'm sure we have some places where we have some customers on this call probably who are looking at how can we speed up remittance processing. So here also the concept is the same. This customer also had around 2 million manual transactions while doing remittance processing. The bot used to validate the data, fetch details from the core banking and integrate them with a wire transfer mechanism. So here also we were able to do a lot of checks internally, authenticate the document that came in from the different channels, and then do the processing of the remittances. And obviously KYC processing automation. This I'm sure many in this call would have probably done automation on the KYC part, but this bank, for example, already had an automated KYC process. However, they wanted to reduce it from 15 minutes to 4 minutes per account. So we had further enhanced their KYC process by introducing our IDP, which helped to understand the document faster and move it to the relevant team. What we further did is we also did like a scanning as a service on site and ensured that all the government regulations are complied, which the bot was doing. So trade finance process, again, a very potential scope for automation because you get a lot of documents, letter of credit, bank guarantee, invoices, shipping documents. How does someone sit and go through all these documents, right? How do you classify them? How do you match the data between each of these documents? So all of this is a very manual, tedious, and error-prone process. And this was also automated using our technology, where the AI was able to identify different document types, bring the connection between each type of document, ensure that there is no discrepancy, and then post it to the different backend, to the bank, to the core trade finance to do the further checks. Statutory compliance. So this is for any of you who have seen how CERSAI works, which is the Central Registry of Securitization Asset of India. What happens is the bank has to manually update each mortgage case on a third-party government website. And this has been completely automated with our bots for many banks. Actually, it's not just one, for various banks. So what needed to be done was there was an Excel sheet with 7 tabs, and there are 20 to 30 fields in the government website which need to be filled in for every mortgage. So the bot would go into all of these 7 tabs, pick up the fields, pick up the data and populate it on those 20 fields in the government website. So this was also one very good success for us, for many banks in India. And we also received an award for this. In terms of, sorry, I just got a message that there is a question. Should I? Yeah, I can pause here, or I can. Yes, Pooja.
Yes, Blessy. The question is like, will it work with Arabic script?
Yes, we have the capability to recognize Arabic data also, and but not handwritten. We can recognize Arabic data also. Yeah, did that answer the question?
Yep, let's move on.
Okay. So we have, as I said, we have the AI engine, right? What it allows you to do is it allows you to understand patterns, understand certain anomalies that happen in data. And data is very crucial for us. So what we had done for another bank is we had implemented a fraud detection tool where we could identify high-risk accounts and place them on a watch list. Because these kind of accounts, the transactions need to be monitored. So obviously, under a close scrutiny with the customer, we were able to identify about 6 out of 10 cases in real time, which were the fraud cases. Because we use those AI algorithms to understand that data. So coming to Middle East, in fact, we have done for one of the large banks in Middle East, we set up an automation roadmap, right? So again, what is important to note is that we are not, we have our own technology. However, we always try to talk to our customers through our partners to understand what you already have as an organization. So you may already have an existing RPA solution or an OCR solution. And our objective is not to rip and replace, but to try to integrate with your existing application and guide you in your automation journey. So here we have done a kind of a roadmap for one bank where we have identified about 100 plus processes. And we have worked along with their existing product set and also obviously recommended our technology stack, which will help to achieve that automation. So this is this I'm highlighting on a separate level. So one of our biggest customers in India, again, this bank has got about 800 plus active bots deployed, and around 2 million transactions are automated based on from these bots. 500 plus processes. So what we are trying to portray from this slide is that we can. This is an enterprise product which can be scaled across multiple business lines, business processes in large enterprises, right? So this is a very scalable solution. We can start for an SMB market, but we can also scale up to a very large scale on a global level even. So coming to the use cases, now use cases, if you go actually to our website, you would find a lot of use cases. But here is, for example, a retail banking process list, right? So here we have the option, these are just some of the processes where we can help in automating, because we have already done many of this. We have detailed case studies on each of them, but I've just listed it here. If anything is of specific interest, we can take it offline. But these are some of the banking processes in the retail side. We have also done on the wholesale. We have done on trade finance. There's much more. And if you go to our website, which is a Datamatics intelligent automation website, you will actually find 300 plus banking use cases and examples, right? So this is just a snippet because we have a certain, time limitation. So if there is anything specific you would like to ask, or if you think that in my unit I have this process which I'm having a trouble with, how can you help to automate? Please, please feel free to reach out. So I would like to just talk about some of our customers who have been with us in the journey, because you can see that RPA is a journey, or digital transformation is a journey. It doesn't end with just implementing one system or one bot or one process. It is a journey, and we have helped many of our customers in that journey. And we have some success video testimonials of our customers, which I'm not playing now. This presentation will be shared with you, and if you click on that, you will get a proper video testimonial of each of them. These are our global clients, the top global clients, I would say. On the top left is where you would see many of the banks that we work with. There is many more that we work with, but under NDA, we are not supposed to put up those, but these are the ones that, we strongly work with. So I would like to conclude on the slide presentation part, on what's new with our Datamatics technology. So we, as we all know now, generative AI is the buzzword, right? And what we do is that we are offering generative AI as part of our IDP platform. So again, to probably answer Mahesh's question, what generative AI does is it helps to manage unstructured content. So comprehending data, understanding the contextual meaning of it, not keyword search, but understanding the contextual meaning of it. All of these things are something which we have integrated into now our TrueCap, and we are happy to show you separately demonstrations around that. But this is something new that we have put into our platform, because we are, as I mentioned, we have our own innovation hub where we try to integrate the latest technologies, and this is built into our IDP code. I would like to now open up any questions. Shafia, Pooja.
Thank you, Blessy, for an insightful presentation. Now we will move on to the questionnaire answer session. Dear participants, if you have any questions, please keep your questions coming in, and you can use the Q&A feature to submit your questions, or else you can raise your hand and we will unmute you so that you can have an one-to-one chat with Blessy, and she will provide you the answers. Linus, can you please mute yourself? Blessy, there is one question. There are many banks who have implemented RPA processes. Mm-hmm. Why do some still face roadblocks along their automation journey?
Yes, that's a good question. So whoever asked the question, that's great, because many banks have implemented RPA solution, and I think one of the main challenges that happen is an end-to-end automation is difficult to find, because they get stuck when it comes to documents. So document extraction is not very great with many of the RPA vendors. So what happens is still a lot of manual intervention is required. That is when you go with tools like IDP, where intelligence is there, AI ML technologies are there, and where we can use that intelligence to read and comprehend data and push it to RPA bot, right? So that obviously helps in automating end-to-end, and that is one answer to the question. Secondly, An RPA process does not end by just implementing it. There has to be an audit of the processes that are done, a health check. And that is also something we as Datamatics provide in terms of RPA audit or health check to constantly review the processes and modify as required. So that is my answer to that question.
Thank you, Blessy. And there is one more question. Like, what are the typical IDP use cases in the banking sector?
Yeah, sure. Maybe I would turn it around to any of our audiences who wants to answer that, because I'm sure they by this end of the session, they would have probably understood which are the possible cases where IDP can be used. Any raise of hands? Okay, probably not. Okay, no worries. So IDP use cases, there are plenty. Whether it is KYC documents, whether it is account opening documents, loan documents, wherever there is documents or trade finance documents. There are a lot of places where data is unstructured, where there is a lot of data that has been, currently not being able to be captured by an OCR system. Where AI can be used to analyze data, predict outcomes. All of this can be places where IDP can be used.
Any more questions? If not, then shall we conclude the session, Blessy? If you want to share the final thoughts, let's conclude, and then we'll have a feedback for.
Yeah. So now we have come to the end of today's webinar. I hope you found it informative and engaging. I want to express my sincere gratitude to all the participants and especially to Blessy for sharing the insights with us. Remember, the recording of this webinar will be available shortly, so you can review the content at your convenience. And before we sign off, feel free to visit our website or reach out to us if you have any further questions. Thank you once again for joining us today, and have a wonderful day. And we look forward to connecting with you again soon. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you once again. Thanks to the Rakmia team. Thanks to all who participated.